Coffee With is proudly sponsored by Jar Oil Company Limited.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee With. I am your host, Zainab Jang, and with me in the studio I have a guest who has done many things. He's into film producing, directing, and currently he's working on something very interesting that will be great for the Gambia. But we'll do nothing but go into the interview and find out more about who this man is. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you very much, Zainab.
Do tell Coffee With who was Hassan Sen before he became a producer and director of Halis.
Hassan Sen was I would say, a very enthusiastic and keen young Gambian working in the United Kingdom. I spent 30 years working for London Underground and Transport for London. I started there in 1990 as a station assistant and then a train guard and a train driver. I'm one of the youngest instructors ever to join or to rise through the ranks of London Underground. I started, in those days you had to be at least maybe in service of 20 years to become a trainer or an instructor. And I did it with only 6 months.
Wow.
Of experience. So yes, I've had a very meteoric rise there in forms of training and development.
Okay. So is that all you've ever done before you became,
No.
before you realized that you had a passion for film and directing?
Oh, well, okay. So whilst working as a training and developer there, one of my passions was to change the way London Underground and TFL was developing training. Those were the old days what they called chalk and talk, where the trainer would go up with an OHP, overhead projector, slide, or literally chalk and talk on the blackboard. And I decided, you know what, let's use modern media, let's use a modern medium, let's use forms of videos. This was in the kind of like the mid 2000s. I was well, I can change this. I was told, well, can you? And I was skeptical, and being a young black person as well in the UK. I thought, you know what, I can. So in those times, what I had to do is prove yourself.
Yeah.
So I went and created a small little video clips of some stuff and showed it to one of the managers, and he was like, wow, you'll save us money. What else can you do? So I did some more stuff, and it was like, you know what else can you do? I said, well, if you build me a studio, I could do more.
Yeah.
So they bought me a full studio. And then they sent me to university to study to become a film producer, a filmmaker.
Nice.
And yeah, and then like they said, the rest is history. From then on, I went and started I built my own studio for London Underground and built another one for Transport for London, and then started mentoring young people in film production. And the schools, like in schools in the UK, they have a scheme where 15-year-olds come out. It's called work experience.
Yeah.
And so they always come to me now to gain experience in media production.
Nice.
And so that's when I started doing that, and helping out the young people of the UK. And now my goal is to help the young people of the Gambia.
Nice. I like that. So you definitely, for real, you've been actually into the film industry for a very long time.
Yes.
And film developing, film-making, and just creating content. It's nothing new.
No, that's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so now it'd be nice to know about your childhood. Tell us about that, and what was it like growing up as a young Hassan?
Wow, okay. I was born in the UK, and in 1981 I came down. That was the year of the coup d'etat.
Okay.
And I came to the Gambia with my mom and my siblings to know our culture and understand where we are from, literally. And I spent my teenage years here in Gambia.
Okay.
I went to Nusrat High School.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I went to Nusrat High School, and then when I finished at Nusrat, did my GCSEs and all that. And my auntie, Arita Jufnjai, said to me, you know what, since you've finished and you're quite articulate, why don't you come to my secondary school, Sukuta, and come and help me out there.
Okay.
So I said, okay, that's fine. So I actually spent 3 years in Sukuta Secondary Technical School.
Okay.
So sometimes in town you see people call me Mr. Sen, and that's because I taught them in school.
Wow.
I taught them here, yeah. So I spent 3 years doing that. That was amazing. I learned to speak Mandinka there.
Okay.
The Mandinkas, all the Sukutarians, the
Yeah.
Anadafics. That was amazing time. And that's from there I went to I returned to the UK.
Okay.
And that's where that passion for training, for development, for imparting knowledge kind of like led me on to training and development with London Underground. So I can say I thank the Gambia for that.
Okay.
By being in Sukuta teaching there, gave me that nurture, that kind of like that passion.
Yeah.
Yes, I can think. So that was my teenage years here in the Gambia, and then obviously in the UK became a young man, and then carried on from there.
Nice. I like that. I like that background. So it's like, even though you were born in the UK, you came back to the Gambia, taught for a little while, and then that kind of pushed you, and then you went back to UK, and then that's when you realize, okay, you want to go into training and developing young people.
That's right.
And now you're here in the Gambia to do the same thing.
That's correct. Right now with Halis, so I'm the executive producer and the director of TV series Halis, which is coming out soon. However, on a side note as well, my mission is to train and develop the Gambians as well in film production. So I'm aiming to create a training school here.
Okay.
So that when the Gambians come and enroll, they will also be taught there, but then fed into the production crew of Halis.
Oh, okay.
So you get the theory, and also you'll get some practical experience as well.
Nice.
So once you've gained that and you meet the standard, then we can enroll you as a fully fledged member of the crew of Halis. Yeah, so we'll do our bit for the productions and stuff, and hopefully we'll be calling out to media houses as well to bring your employees to come and train with us. Come and train with us. Yeah, come and train with us. So that's one of my aims as well, to do that.
Okay, that's very interesting. So it seems like you're contributing towards the unemployment rate, as well as capacitizing young people.
That's right. That's correct. With young Gambians, when we did the auditions here in late February, early March for Halis, and we thought only maybe 50 kids will turn up. We had over 500 people turn up for the audition. So I knew that, onto a good thing here. Gambians have talent.
Yeah, we do.
But we needed just a medium for them to show it, or we needed just to give them a platform where they could say, you know what, we're interested, we're keen.
Yeah.
And I think Halis has provided that. And hopefully we'll see in our series now. From those auditions, we've selected quite a few Gambians. Okay. And they are appearing and starring in the TV series Halis.
Oh, that's very interesting. So we'll talk about Halis. Tell us what inspired you to, come up with this idea of a TV series called Halis.
Well, okay. See, the TV series is the brainchild of a friend of mine named Alpha Jallo and Alan Duggan. And Alan Duggan is a Hollywood producer, living in the UK. And they came up with the concept of Halis. However, they realized that they didn't know how to deliver this concept. So then they bumped into me, and they heard about me through the Gambians in the UK, knowing that I am very passionate about film production. Yeah. And so we came together and we formed a partnership. And then I came and financed the production of Halis and produced it. And came and literally did all the hard work as well. Because it's very essential that you can be able to understand film production as well as be able to do the hard grafting. Sure. So this is kind of like new territory. And I thought, you know what, let me come down and do it and prove that it can be done. And so we're collaborating with the Senegalese actors there, Serpona, Sane, Jojo, which were brought along by Mr. Jallo. And so we're coming to Gambia to work with the Gambians and do some form of like a mentorship as well. So these guys are giants in their field in Senegal. Indeed. Yeah, and so they can help to inspire the young Gambians as well, and also to mentor them and hold their hands along the way. We have good Gambians who are actors here as well in their own right. Indeed. And so, but however, we're just using this platform to help to show that we have that partnership between Gambia and Senegal. The same culture. Definitely. Same language. We share a lot of things in common. And let's just hence to gel that
Yeah, especially in the creative arts industry. I think it's important that we come together because it's working with the music. You see a lot of Senegalese artists come, collaborating with Gambians.
That's right.
And then sometimes they come over here, do concerts, and then they go over there, do concerts. So I think it's the same and should continue to grow.
That's correct, but that's exactly right. The music industry in Gambia has taken off, like a rocket now.
Yeah.
And the Gambians are filling stadiums, which was unheard of before.
True.
And so now that we've got something like Halis along, whereas in Senegal they have here in the Gambia, we're watching these series. There's quite a few of them that people are hooked onto.
True.
And we're going to prove now that the Gambians can do their own.
Indeed.
In their own backyard,
yeah.
And to compete with those. It's not a competition, but just to rival those. I think we could even do better.
Yeah, of course. And it's good that we have the likes of yourself with Fat Production and Jot IB to put together these series. So I guess Off the Halis does really well. Other series can come out of it. And then we can have more things for the Gambians to watch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My aim is not to just end with Halis. I think Halis will just be I think that's like the forerunner. And then my aim is to create a series and films based in shot in the Gambia with Gambians. So this will just be the start of many productions.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So tell us about the challenges, because I'm sure in anything you try to execute in any country, in Gambia, UK, wherever, there must be challenges, but just tell us about the few that you encountered but then you managed to overcome.
Okay. Right, so one of the challenges is locations.
Okay.
With film production, you need to have good locations to film in. And one of the challenges we faced was we have a container scene in the series, which is one of our main scenes. Without it, the actual episode doesn't work. So we went through the right channels with the Gambian Ports Authority, went up to the managing director, we went through all of them, and we got go-aheads, yes, you can do it, only to find out that security weren't told. So we're told, no, you can't do it today. And so the shoot was cancelled. So wasted a whole day. Second day again, it's on, to find out the next day it's cancelled. So sometimes as a producer, you need to think outside the box now.
Yeah.
So I learned that in Bond Road, which is that's like another location where they keep the empty containers. And so we went and we shot there instead. And in fact, that was the better location because it looks very dystopian. It's very mysterious as well.
Yeah.
And it worked out fine. However, what I would say is that the certain government bodies or people should try and understand what it takes to make a production.
Yeah.
And when you go through the correct channels to get permission, they should help to honor that and try not to be obstructive or if you have questions, ask the right questions.
Yeah.
And these will be, but we're not here to obstruct or to cause any mischief or to be seen to be anything other than trying to do a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of the only things that was a challenge.
Okay.
It's finding suitable locations and getting permissions.
Okay. I'm sure people watching and listening will be able to adapt and work on it. So we understand that you already mentioned you want to set up a school here, a training school.
Yeah.
So that training school would then equip the young people so that once they learn, they can also be employed on be a part of the production of Jot IB and Fat Productions.
That's correct.
So aside from that, what else do you think needs to be done by stakeholders or the government in order to improve young people and their skills? Because we understand that skills is literally taking over now.
Yeah.
A lot of young people are becoming entrepreneurs. So tell us about that and tell us what you think needs to be done further to support these young people.
Well, I think if you look at the way things are done around the world currently, before it used to be based on going to university, getting a degree. A lot of the Western countries now are realizing that it's not all about a degree.
Yeah.
It's a lot about having skills, knowledge, and experience. Apprenticeships are the way forward, I think. It's fine to have a degree, but they've realized in the West that having experience and having an apprenticeship is just as important and valuable as also having a degree. Because sometimes there's certain vocations that you can't get a degree for. For example, in my whole field of London Underground, you can't get a degree in train maintenance.
No.
But you can get an apprenticeship that will teach you how to maintain to maintain a 1963 stock train. Or they'll teach you how to operate a signal cabin, which basically was built in 1903.
Yeah.
Here in the Gambia as well, you need you need people. The government needs to value apprenticeships. These apprenticeships.
Yeah.
Here, if you tell someone I want to be an apprentice, they'll say to you, "What? You've got no ambition.
Yeah.
Go to college and go to be a doctor or something." But who's going to run like these power stations? Who's going to run like the car mechanics? Who's going to be? Who's going to do certain? Who's going to be the electrician, the plumber? All these things can be done by apprenticeships.
True.
And if the government values these vocations and puts resources behind them, then these children also will think, okay, that's a vocation I can go into. We're not all academics.
Yeah, that's true.
Some kids are good with their hands and are very technical, and I think that's where resources should also be put equally in vocations like apprenticeships.
Okay. So we're going to go for a short break with our sponsors, Jar Oil Company Limited, and when we return, the conversation continues with Asan Sen.
Coffee With is proudly sponsored by Jar Oil Company Limited.
So, finally, this is my favorite question, and this is the question I like to ask everyone. Your words of wisdom to share with young people out there in order to inspire them.
I would say never give up. There's always hope. Never give up.
Just never give up?
Just never give up.
See, that's funny. Just never give up. Nothing else outside of that?
Whenever, if you give up, then you've given up on hope.
Yeah.
There's always someone that may come along. Like someone might be watching this now, we're thinking, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And I just like, I myself, I thought, I've come several times to Gambia and thought I'll try and do something here. And I kind of left it, but I thought maybe one day.
Yeah.
But then again, Hadith came along, and now here I am sitting here doing what I love to do. I never gave up.
Yeah, that's true.
I never gave up.
That's true. That's true, viewers. So if you're listening and watching this episode of Coffee With, Asan Sen said, never give up. Literally, never give up. If you have a passion, you have a dream, and you want to follow it, never give up. And I can actually use that for myself. I never gave up. Because many people that know me know I come from London, and I came to Gambia because I wanted to do something and contribute towards development. And if I'd given up back in London, where so many doors were slammed in my face, I wouldn't have been here today. He earlier mentioned being black and being from UK can be difficult, but I never gave up. So never giving up brought me to where I am today. And I'm in the Gambia, I'm working at the state broadcaster, and I'm doing something that I love. I'm enjoying this. So never give up if you're watching this episode. And that was all we have for you today. I'd like to thank my makeup artist, Betty Berry, for making me look this beautiful. I'd like to thank the camera crew. I'd like to thank MCR and my director. I'd also like to thank the IT team, because they are always the ones to stream the program. I always forget them, but today I didn't forget them. Thank you very much, Uncle Asan, for coming to the platform. People, watch out for Harless, the new TV series that's about to come on our screens. And once again, thank you to my sponsors, Jar Oil Company Limited, for making this production possible. Thank you, and bye-bye.